Ferrigno, what's going on, my friend? Glad to have you in the studio. This is,
thank you.
You know, you hear this, I'm sure, no end, how somebody grew up watching The Incredible Hulk, and, you know, you've been an idol over all you've overcome and what you've accomplished, and you still hold the record as the youngest Mr. Universe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the youngest one to win the IBB Mr. Universe twice.
So you were absolutely an inspiration, and you know, I can't tell you, I was always an Incredible Hulk fan as a kid, so the TV show even that much more. So, and was it cool to be actually involved in the Avengers process and making that new movie?
Yeah, I love doing the voice and the dialogue for the Hulk because I know how the Hulk thinks and feels.
Right.
So, and when I got a chance to see the film, I mean, it was very powerful. I was very taken back.
And like, everybody seems to want to make sure that you were involved in the Hulk legacy. You were involved in the Edward Norton film as well, weren't you?
Yeah, I had a scene with him.
Yeah. Now, does that have anything to do with Marvel saying, look, this is our guy, he's one of the guys that helped make this character as big as he is? Or is it just the makers of the film usually want to have you involved in the process?
It was the director.
The director, really?
And he told me that when I finished the last scene, he said, we won't be here if it wasn't for you, because it all started with me with the TV series. Because at the time when I did the pilot for the Hulk, I replaced with Shaquille. He was 7 feet tall, and he had no physique.
Jaws from the Bond movies,
exactly. Nice guy. And then they were in trouble because they had to reshoot the pilot. And that didn't happen if I wasn't around. They would never had a Hulk TV series. So I was training for competition. So it was 6 weeks before the Mr. Olympia competition, 1976. So I went down for the screen test, and I was hired. I was working the next day, so I had to give up my career as a bodybuilder, which I didn't mind.
Right.
But it was like the next day I was filming. I had no acting experience. Like front of these cameras, green makeup, running, and bang, 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 you know.
Right. How long did it take to get into that green makeup?
Was that like,
hours. And it never got any shorter? It was always 3.5 hours to get into.
But I had to be touched all day long because a lot of times the makeup had a tendency to run, so it had to retouch me. That was more uncomfortable than getting made up because sometimes you're out, for example, in the kind of weather condition, and constantly retouching me. It's almost like being poked all day long and you have beach stand on. You're very uncomfortable.
Right. What was the most memorable part of production of the TV series?
Well, one time it was 12 o'clock, and I think it was on during the week, and apparently I was at a beach called Venice Beach. So I hear a knock on the door, and I said, come in. I was in the makeup. So this guy comes in. He got gray hair and dark glasses, tall guy. He says, I'm here with my nephew from England. He said, my name is Cary Grant.
Oh, my God, what?
And I looked at him, and he said, can I come in? I just nodded my head. I was speechless.
Yeah.
So he closed the motorhome door, and I said to myself, this is great. I'm in the makeup. I'm with Cary Grant. What do I talk about with him? And he has such an incredible charm and presence. So it was very nice, but that was a great experience because it's just out of the blue. I mean, one of the greatest actors alive came to the set and wanted to have a picture taken with me.
Now, did you always want to act, or did you eventually evolve your want to act, or is that something that you felt lucky to be doing it and that was good enough for you?
I've always wanted to act, but ever since I was a little kid, I was told, no, you can't, because of all the obstacles I had to overcome because of my different obstacles I had to face when I was young. But I had all these different visions and dreams, and all came true because I believed in them. Because, you know, my life started as a bodybuilder, and I love performing. So one thing led to another, and I always like to turn on the switch and be in front of people.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of motivational speaking?
All
I know
the time.
you've got the Ferrigno Fitness Foundation going on, and there's some great videos on there. And I was just kind of curious as to how extensive just the motivational part of what you're doing right now is.
Well, I lecture all over the world talking about embracing fear, because a lot of people find that failure is their best friend. They want to be better friends with failure, but they can't get out of it. So I teach them how to embrace the fear factor, being positive, maximizing your personal power. That's why next week on March 4th, we're launching Ferrigno Fit online, how to become your own personal trainer and deal with your own situation. People need that because what I've done in my whole life, I've lived it. It's not like somebody reads a book and have a book and then educate them in 3 weeks and say, I'm a guru, train them. I've lived it. I've done it all. So I just give them hope and motivation.
But you're not involved with professional bodybuilding anymore? Do you still train anybody, or are you still involved in?
Trainer. I still go to bodybuilding competition. Like next week, I'll be at the Arnold Classic. I'm still involved with that because I plan in the future to come out with the Lou Ferrigno Fitness Expo, bodybuilding championship.
What's the fear most people express to you that they have the hardest time overcoming?
I would say most of all, being a better friend to their body, accepting themselves because they have a fear factor. Meaning, for example, every one of us, a lot of us have this failure mechanism that we become successful to a point, but we step backward. few people make it further. Be successful, you have to take those chances. You have to take the risk, and you can't be afraid to fall down.
Mm-hmm. When's the last time you really hulked out? When's the last time you actually let that character inside of you go, like just on the street in the middle of some kind of everyday situation? Has that ever occurred?
You know, it's been so many years. I think, you know, it's funny. I'm glad you brought this up because a long time ago, I can say this now because half the people are dead. So one time I was filming a TV series, right? Okay, this was the second pilot. So the director wanted me to go through this wall. My brother was with me on the set. And apparently I went through this wall. They said there's only one take and we don't have another partition. I remember pounding and pounding trying to break through it. I couldn't get through it. So finally I made my way through it. And they told me afterward it was a real wall.
Jeez.
Okay, I heard my elbow. I was so pissed. So when I went back to my dressing room, the door's locked. Then I go inside the building. There was another door locked. And I'm covered with green makeup. Everyone left the set, and the doors both are locked. I took my fist and my forearm and I went, BAM! And I just heard a snap. The whole door came snapping down. My brother looked at me. He goes, "Are you crazy?" He goes, "We're going to have the police here." I said, "I don't give a shit about the police." I said, "Get out of my sight. I need to take a shower to get the green makeup off." I think that was the last time I hulked out.
Okay, so it actually does
Oh,
happen.
yeah, but I'll tell you, till today, I think I can knock that door down. Don't ask me how I did it.
So what do you usually do at these conventions now? What's the biggest part of your time when you go to Wizard World Comic Con and events like this?
I have my posters, my pictures. A lot of fans come up with their own memorabilia, my pictures and posters and everything. I sign it because it's my way of working here. And also I interact with the fans. They get excited because I have my Polaroid camera. They take pictures with me because rarely they get a chance to see me. And also, you know, Stan Lee's here, the celebrities. So it's almost like, you know, you get a chance to be with them and talk to them than opposed to have to make a phone call when they're on the radio station. So you get to greet them in person. And the beauty about it is the fact that a lot of times funny things happen, like women come up, they said, you know, they want me to hug them in a certain way.
In a certain way? Is that
I don't know.
the special hug? Yeah, I remember that talk as a child.
Thank you very much.
Right. So what's the next big thing for you? Are you involved in any more Marvel projects, or you've got Ferrigno Fit coming up, and you're getting ready to launch a big initiative there. Is that kind of what you're focusing 110% of your time on right now?
Yeah, more on the Ferrigno Fit. Also, I'm reading different scripts for different films because I like to do another comedy.
Another comedy?
Comedy, yes.
Right. Oh, because you were in.
I Love You, Man.
I Love You, Man. That's right. Yeah.
And the last 8 years, I've been a deputy with the Los Angeles Sheriff Department, and I'm very involved with that because I put about 30, 40 hours a month and do a lot of search and rescue because my father was a lieutenant, and I enjoy helping people, saving people's lives.
Mm-hmm. Did that 110% thing ever become a thing when you were on Celebrity Apprentice? There was that cut of you saying, "I just give 110%," and they cut 50 of those together. Did that ever? And is that something you hear a lot when you go out?
Well, especially this weekend,
yeah,
a lot of people come up and say 110%. And you know the truth is, when I say on the show 110%, even Donald Trump's son said what's 110%, but they don't understand. 110% means that you work a little harder than what you give. I mean, that's my philosophy. That's my motto in life. Now I have T-shirts in the booth that I will have it here with 110%. 110%.
Nice. Excellent.
I can't believe how many times I've said it.
Yeah. Now you called that a backstabbing circus. Was that a good experience for you, or do you look back on that as, I'm glad I did it, but I will never again?
I would do the show again in a second, but I'll tell you one thing. I was very surprised, though, when the show aired, what everyone had to say about the negativity. Like, I never said anything bad about anybody. I would just deal in the boardroom. But the truth is that it was a great cast, and someone had to get fired.
Right.
And you have to almost be like the bad guy. You have to find a weakness. And it's not fun because no one wants to get fired in that boardroom.
Yeah.
And me personally, I want to go all the way to the end, so I was very happy to go as far as I've gone.
Yeah. It was kind of interesting because it did seem like you took a lot of things personally that were said in that boardroom. It seemed like you were the one that got more emotional. On the men's team, you were one of the more emotional players on that season. Did you feel that, or was there somebody else that you thought was a little bit more?
Every time in that boardroom, I wanted to stand up and look at those guys
I can
and
only
say,
imagine.
You know what? Just step outside. I mean, a bunch of wimps. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that I just kept my composure. Don't being a police officer. I just don't. but the big battle was at the end. I said to myself, "Wow, it'd be great if I could work with the women." But then on the women's team, it was like It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Let me tell you.
That was a really fun season to watch, I have to say. You were
fun,
definitely
though.
a big part of that.
I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed everybody on the cast. It was just fun. But we had a great cast because I raised almost $100,000 for my charity, muscular dystrophy. And also you got Arsenio Hall. I mean, we had a lot of good laughs.
Yeah. So what's the one piece of advice that you would offer to anybody listening to Lou Ferrigno right now on The Brew as far as motivating yourself or making yourself a better person as you are now a motivational speaker as much as anything else?
Enjoy every moment. Compete with yourself. Don't compete with others. And be happy with what you have because we're here for a short time.
So Wizard World Comic Con going on this weekend, and you are going to be there all weekend, or what's the date?
Friday, tomorrow. I'll be there from like maybe 3 to 8, and all day Saturday. Only Friday and Saturday.
Well, I'm sending a bunch of people out there to say hi to you and get some signatures and stuff. Thank you so much for coming to the studio. It really is an honor. Appreciate it.
Thank you.